Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love, Season 7, Episode 12. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. When the episode first opens up, all the men get together. They gather up. Y'all know how they like to do. It's only 4 men left. Tommy asks how the relationships are going. Andre said, it's hard because, I got 2 qualified women. So Tommy tells the men it's on them this week. He wants them to introduce the ladies to family. Why are we dragging this out and still introducing them to people? They can meet them people's family once they get together. Ooh, child. So they're off to introduce the ladies to their families. In the next scene, Tony is introducing Morgan to his sister. So he's telling her that he thinks that Morgan is the one. So his sister looking at him like, what? Well, you think everybody is the one. Oh, he thinks everybody is the one. Okay, red flag. Okay. So here you go. No, she's different. Sure she is. Okay. Now she is a little different, but we don't know how. Over on the other side, Anthony is inviting Cynthia to meet his cousin Chris. And he feels like, her child's father was a red flag and not really ready to let her go. And he does not want to disturb his peace by dealing with James and all his chains and whatnot. So he's trying to figure out if he really want to go through with whatever's going on with Cynthia. And I agree. I agree about that ex. I feel like he wants to run his house and hers. And that ain't going to work for no real man. You ain't going to run this over here. You run what you got going on over there, and I'm going to run what I got going on over here. Moving forward. So Morgan and Cynthia show up to their dates. His cousin Chris jumps right in. He's like, so tell me about James, because I heard he was a little aggressive. She said, oh, no, he ain't doing nothing over here. He don't run nothing over here. He's not anything to worry about. Cynthia, you keep saying that, but James would be a problem. You need to elaborate. Like, yes, I know James came off harsh, but I'm going to have a talk with him to make sure that he understands that we have clear boundaries. Like, I feel like Cynthia just keeps saying, yeah, I got him under control, but I don't think you have him under control. Over with Morgan, she's telling his sister, Tony's that is, that Tony has a hard time with his communication. She was like, yeah, he's a man's man and I really like that, but it's a part of him that I just don't like that. It's the problems that we have. We can't communicate. So I'm thinking we need to see someone. His sister said, say what? Yeah, I think she said counseling. So Morgan goes, you don't like that? She said, no, I don't like that. Who needs counseling when you're just dating to learn how to communicate with somebody? Sister, I could not agree more. Okay, if you need counseling already, it's a no from the start. How you go in backwards? Like, if you need counseling to communicate with each other, that means that you should not be a couple. I'm with the sister. Back over with Anthony, Cynthia, and Chris. He's talking about how Anthony never goes out. He's a homebody. And so Cynthia's like, well, I'm going to get him to go out with me. And then, you can go with us. So, they're having a little banter back and forth. And Chris really liked Cynthia. Cynthia's a likable woman. So I didn't think that anybody that she met was not going to like her. Cynthia is still talking about this connection with Andre. Girl, let it go. Let it go. Honey, let it go. Like Elsa in Frozen. Let that man go. Like, I don't understand why I understand that you like Andre. But girl, he liked Jeffrey and all her kisses. Okay, so let him go. So she gets up to leave and Chris is like, I like her. I'm just worried about her ex. But it's up to you. You either in or you out. Over on Morgan's date, it's over. And she's like, yeah, I know it's alarming that I want counseling. And his sister probably was alarmed, but I'm not ready to throw the whole man away yet. You need to. You sound silly. Who in their right mind goes to counseling the first month into a relationship to get the counseling to correct something that shouldn't be wrong? Who does that at your big grown age? Girl, goodbye. In the next scene, Andre invited his sister and his niece to meet his potential love interest. Andre said his sister scares him. Well, she looks like she don't play. She look intimidating. I don't know if it was just me, but I was like, oh, honey, I would not want to go meet her. He starts telling her about the ladies and how they both have kids. And when he said that, his sister was not a fan of that. The way that she responded, I was like, oh, honey, I don't think she like it, honey. And I feel like she would not be a fan, even if they didn't have children. I don't think she wants anyone with that tendril. Girl, you better be happy somebody want him, okay? He wears 5 or 6 different hairstyles. He wears Liberace jackets. Just be happy somebody want him, honey. Just be happy somebody want him. So Cynthia walked in and she goes, dang, it's women. And you know, women see right through other women. I mean, yeah, you know, the women are a little tougher, but you're going to be fine. She sits down. His sister is like, so you're 37 and you have 2 kids. So do you want more? And Cynthia said, yeah, I'll do 2 kids and a dog, but that's all I can do. Cause I'm gonna give you the dog in case you want another kid. Cause I'm only having 2. Okay. That's all you're going to get. Jeffrey comes in, y'all, dressed in her Sunday school best. I said, Jeffrey, what are you wearing? It was a beautiful dress. Don't get me wrong, honey. I'm going to wear it on any good Sunday. Okay, Easter's coming up. Jeffrey, let me borrow that dress. But girl, what is happening? She's like, yeah, I'm just thrown off. Cynthia's here. I'm just so thrown off by it. Girl, just sit down and hush. In the confessional, Cynthia goes, Jeffrey is covered up to her neck, dressed down to her ankles. I looked at her and said, who the hell is this? She putting on the Ritz. She is putting on the Ritz for the family. Y'all remember when Karma showed up to meet, what was his name? Showed up to meet whatever her potential love interest name was. What was it? I cannot remember this man's name. And she was all dressed up. That's exactly what Jeffrey is doing right now. The way Cynthia looked and took a drink when she saw Jeffrey show up in cosplay, baby, I hollered. I said, not sips tea. Oh, that was so funny to me. So she sits down and his sister was like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. She thought Jeffrey was absolutely stunning in her Sunday best. So she sits down. His sister said, Jeffrey, so you have 3 kids. And she said, yeah. And she goes, well, that's more of a liability than an asset. Oh, I would have gotten up and walked right the hell away. Don't call my children liabilities. Don't do that, because it is very rare to find anyone without children. And if you do, that is great. But don't be calling my children a liability, honey. She overstepped her boundaries. Okay, that wouldn't work for me. Cynthia only has 1 less child than she does. I didn't like his sister's attitude at all. Maybe that's just me. That could be an unpopular opinion, but I do not like her attitude. She asks, what can she bring to the table with a man with no kids? She's like, well, I'm everything a man could want. So then Cynthia says, I got 2 bachelors, 2 masters, 2 businesses. My kids are good. He wouldn't be their stepdad. He would be their bonus dad. Girl, you better run that resume. Let me see if you can run it. Girl, you better run that resume to her, honey. But at the same time, he still would have to be an active part of their lives if the 2 of you were ever to walk down the aisle. So that's something that you have to think about. And me personally, I wouldn't want nothing to do with Andre. I don't like his family and I don't like him. Jeffrey felt like she was shooting daggers and judging her. And I don't care if y'all don't like Jeffrey or not, she was. That was rude as hell. Don't sit in front of me and tell me that my children are liabilities. Yes, you know, it does come with a lot when you have 3 kids and, you know, you are dating someone that doesn't have any children. Of course, people will be like, well, why would you want a ready-made family just to add water? Why would you want to do that? But don't be rude and say that. Okay, because he has 2 women that he's interested in and they both have kids. So if you're going to say it to one, you got to say it to the other. Moving forward. Once they leave, Andre asks who they liked. I mean, none of them. His niece says Cynthia would be her choice. And his sister was like, if I have to choose somebody, I'm going to choose Cynthia, but I don't want none of them. Okay, I don't like any of them. Baby, she a judge, a little heifer, ain't she? I didn't like her judging them because they have children. I'm going to say it again. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. In the next scene, Tony and Morgan meet up to talk about the date with his sister. So they meet up. As they are sitting down, he asked what she thought. And she was like, oh, you going to jump right in? He said, yeah, I'm going to jump right in. Like, what did you think about meeting my sister? And he said, my sister liked you, but she was a little taken aback by the counseling thing. She tells him that she has concerns moving forward. And she wants to know how what he says to her is accurate, because he says and does things that are unbecoming of a man, yet you're still sitting across from him eating your salad. Like, I don't want to hear it, because you keep going back to get him. So you keep going back to get him. So why are you asking him any questions? So he was like, what you mean? So then Morgan brings up Tony's entanglement with Natasha. So if you don't remember who Natasha is, she is the attorney that had on that pink dress and her hair got real frizzy when she was eliminated. That's who Natasha is. Because I had to refresh my memory. I was like, who is Natasha? Anywho, she got eliminated day one of the mixer. Tony explains to us that after she was eliminated, he wanted to explore on a physical level. So basically, you slept with Natasha after the fact, but acting a fool with Morgan if she so much as looked at Lyndon. You're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. So you know all of this, Morgan, and you still want to carry on with him? Like I said, I don't want to hear anymore. Either pick him or don't. Okay? There's no other options. Also, I don't think it was cool to bring up Natasha when she's not here to defend herself. Why are you bringing her up? That is tacky. And she was like, yeah, in her confessional, yeah, I brought it up because he will not make me look like a fool. Morgan, you will look like the fool regardless because you are still choosing him. That's just, I don't mean to be mean to you, honey, but it ain't making no sense. So she tells him, thanks for telling me you chose the lowest hanging fruit that went home the first day. So in the confessional, she goes, yeah, I spoke on it because he's taking his actions lightly. And I want to know if he's concerned with who he puts his peen in. Morgan needs help. Morgan needs help. There's no reason for Natasha to be catching all these strays. You don't even know her. You getting on him for how he behaved with Lyndon, but you are just like him in regards to Natasha. And what makes her low-hanging fruit? I'm so sick of hearing that phrase. Now all of a sudden everybody is low-hanging fruit. Why are you calling her that? You don't know her. So he's like, I don't even know why you brought her up. Like, it was before we had our connection. So Tony quickly corrects her. He tells her, look, I'm not going to let you degrade her. She's a beautiful woman. Here go Morgan. She's not. Somebody is insecure. Y'all barely said 2 words to each other at that mixer when he was intimate with that girl. He didn't know you. And I'm happy he's not allowing her to talk down on this woman. Okay, so he kind of got a half a point. Not a whole point because I know that he's nuts. But he got a half a point for that. Okay, because like I said, she's not there to defend herself. So he's trying to talk and she's like, let's move on because you are not about to sit here and defend her in front of me. You're not about to talk to her about her. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move. I'm like, oh my God, honey. And this is what you want? Okay. So he's telling Morgan that he respects and cares for her and he wants to move forward. This is going to be held over your head forever. I hope you know that, Tony. Forever. She ain't never letting it go. Okay? When y'all got beef forever. Shout out to Cardi B. She is going to hold this over your head. Okay? You would be better off leaving now. These two are a joke. Let's move on. In the next scene, Jeffrey and Marc Anthony meet up. You know what's so funny to me? He always makes me laugh when he dresses up to meet Jeffrey, but wears V-necks to meet Mercedes. It just is so, I don't know if it's because she has 3 kids. He think he's going to the principal's office, honey. I don't know what's going on. But he always has on a 2-piece suit when he shows up to meet Jeffrey. When he shows up to meet Mercedes, he has on a V-neck and some ripped jeans. It's night and day. So he's telling us how, he hasn't been hearing from her. And so he doesn't know what's going on. So he just wants to meet with her. So when they get together, he's telling her, look, I haven't been hearing from you. She tells him, it's just the wrong timing. And I just feel like, I will try, but I don't want to take the risk. Even though I like you, I just don't want to take the risk. What? What is happening? These two are getting all sappy. I'm like, child, what in the telenovela is happening here? Okay, we all knew this was not going to work. He is not ready for all that responsibility. Girl, get on out of here. Let's move on. In the next scene, Marc Anthony is inviting over Mercedes to video chat. Of course, very casual and whatnot. She's going to be video chatting with his cousin, but he did not invite Jeffrey because, of course, they ended things before. Anthony, over on the other side, invited Cynthia to a romantic beach date with flowers and everything. Yes, ma'am. You deserve a pretty date. I loved it. I was like, this is so sweet. He said that that's what life with him is going to be like. And Cynthia was like, you sure? Because I'm going to need this every day. Okay, this is not just for the show, is it? Okay, because I'm watching you. And truth be told, I think that Cynthia likes Anthony less than she likes Andre. I don't know why, but I really think that she likes Andre. And truth be told, Cynthia has a little competitive streak in her as well. Because something she says a little bit later made me realize that maybe she just wants to win over Jeffrey. So I'm just keeping my eye out for everything that's being said. Across town, Mercedes is meeting with the cousin. She comes in smiling. You know how Mercedes like to do. The cousin asks if she's been married or engaged before. She said no. Marc Anthony is like, that's a good question. I haven't asked that before. That's because you don't really care. You just want to kiss. So she's telling him that, she wants to be friends with her man, have fun, kick it. His cousin asked about marriage, and she said, yeah, I'm looking for a commitment. A commitment is a must. Do you want a commitment or do you want marriage? Because those are two totally different things. I can be committed to you and not married to you. I don't think Mercedes is looking for marriage, and that is okay. Okay. It's okay to take your time. Don't rush into that. But yeah, I think she just wants commitment. Her and Marc Anthony are good together. Over on the other side, Cynthia and Anthony, they're still on their date. And she's like, you better make sure you keep this up. I want this every day. He was like, yeah, I got you. These two are so cute together. They really are. And I really want them to be a thing. But I also think in the back of my mind that Anthony is a little bit taken aback by that ex. I don't think that he really feels like he should push through. I think he wants to make it to the end. But Cynthia is going to have to rein in James and his 2 chains. Back over with Mercedes. She's asked if she would want to relocate because Marc Anthony is originally from New York. Okay. So she's like, well, no, I never really thought about that. I have an unconventional job. She don't want to relocate. Y'all might just have some fun and then you go your way and he gonna go his. In the next scene, Cynthia is on her date, still worried about Andre. Ma'am, that judgy sister of his is trouble. Be happy with Anthony. Okay, y'all both have kids. Y'all are both mature and established. Andre is just for drive-bys. Okay, you call him when you need your fix. Okay, that's it. That's all. He isn't for anything long-term because his family doesn't even respect you off the rip. Like, it's the end, girl. It's the end. Pick a man so we can head to the reunion. I'm ready to hit the theme song. Y'all know I want to hit the theme song. That's all I do this show for. Y'all know that's all I watch for. And Tommy. In the next scene, all the men meet up. It's time for the gentleman's lounge. Tommy asks how the dates went. He chose Anthony to go first. He said, my cousin loved Cynthia. Of course he did. Marc Anthony said he introduced Mercedes to his cousin Chris, and he said she was a good shorty. I'm like, not a good shorty. Tony says he had Morgan meet his sister. He's like, yeah, my sister really liked Morgan, but, it was something she said about counseling, which don't sound right, but she used the wrong word. Tommy said, counseling? Already? She wants you to go to counseling. Tony talking about, yeah, she didn't use the right words. It's what she didn't use. No, she used the right words. She said exactly what she meant. She said what she said and she ain't changing it. And your sister didn't like her like that. So then he asked about the private date that Tony had. And he starts telling Tommy about his sexcapade with Natasha and how Morgan brought it up. And so Tommy goes, so you broke my rule and dated somebody outside of this process that was already eliminated? Okay, for that alone, he should have been eliminated. But maybe that's just me. Okay, and I am so embarrassed for Natasha. She did not deserve this. She didn't deserve this episode. She really did not. Because why are y'all mentioning her? She's not here. Tommy asked about how Morgan feels about that. And he was like, yeah, I told her. And, she's fine with it. Tommy said, she fine with it? You better make sure she fine with it. Because you're going to wake up and going to be missing some hair. I know that's right. Because she's nuts. He said, you know what happens when she gets upset. That is insane for y'all to even be having this conversation. He likes the spice and that touch of crazy. Tony and Morgan definitely already got it popping. Because the way that they interact with each other and the reasoning behind everything tells me that allegedly they already did something. So Andre tells Tommy that he had his sister meet both Jeffrey and Cynthia, and his sister didn't like that they had kids. But she didn't really like Jeffrey at all. Yeah, your sister saw right through that Sunday's best attire. She saw right through her. And Jeffrey doesn't really offer much in the communication department. She rests on being pretty. Girl, if you don't go find you an older man around Miami, honey, and gone on off into the sunset because you're just looking for somebody to take care of you anyway. And let me tell you something, they down in Miami. I have never seen so many men flock to you like they do in Miami. Okay, and I'm talking about of all races. Coins real long. If you want them they make them in your size when you got the coins down in Miami, honey. You can get you one. They make them in your size. Baby, I know from experience, honey. They make them in your size, as Nene said, honey, to Claudia. So Tommy told them that it's time for Andre to decide who it is that he wants. He's like, we're getting down to the wire. Decide who you want. He's like, you're going to have to choose between Jeffrey and Cynthia. He gonna choose Jeffrey because she keeps transferring her lipstick onto his face. But I hope Cynthia doesn't have to leave, because what happens with Anthony? This is just a mess. Really and truly, Morgan and Tony should be eliminated, because the way that they put Natasha's business out there and Tony dating people outside of the process, they should be eliminated. They should just go on. Or really, we could have ended it right here. In the next scene, Cynthia and all her beauty go to meet up with Anthony. Cynthia is stunning. Do you hear me? Just stunning. I see he's recurled that stupid tendril. It looks extra tight this episode. I said, what is going on? He didn't really tighten that tendril for this scene. Anywho, so he starts talking about his connection. So Cynthia goes, I have two of the greatest guys, but you don't have two of the greatest girls. That's what made me think that she might just want Andre so that she could win. Because I was like, why did you say that? But anywho, she said her and Jeffrey are like picking between a rock and a pineapple. Baby, I know you don't want to leave, but ma'am, he is not it. Straddling the fence, about to send you home. Like, what is going on? So she starts stating her case. And so she softened him up a little bit. She tells him that she cares about him a lot. And he said he was about to eliminate her, but now he's even more conflicted as to what he should do. Cynthia, I'm about to start side-eyeing your choices in men. And how is he able to not let one person go? They just doing whatever they want to do at this point, because he didn't choose Cynthia to go home. And the bottom line is this. Let me just name the couples, honey, so we can get through this. Because next week is the finale. And they already knew Andre was not going to send Cynthia home, because Cynthia will be choosing Anthony. And the couples go. Morgan, Tony, and Morgan's Nair. Mercedes and Marc Anthony, M&M. Anthony and Cynthia. Jeffrey, Andre, his tendril, and Jeffrey's lipstick. And cue the music. So it took me some time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. Oh, now I'm ready. I'm ready to love. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this episode. Sorry it was late. I know y'all are used to it being up on a Saturday morning, but a sister's stomach was doing some flips and stuff, and it just wasn't feeling good, okay? And I had a rough start to my morning, honey. We could be here all night, but the review is out. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.